All right, so doing another comic review from another book sent to me by my brother, Chris. Chris, thank you once again, man. And today we're going to be talking about Jay Garrick, The Flash. This is part of the JSA miniseries that was released a little while back. I did a review of Green Lantern Alan Scott, which I thoroughly enjoyed. The other one Chris did send me is Wesley Dodd, the Sandman, which is a character I always like seeing. I wouldn't call him one of my favorite characters, but he's definitely a character I really enjoy, seeing again. It was one of my favorite parts of Nightmares. Night Terrors, excuse me, that DC event everyone forgot about. And it was cool to see, Wesley Dodd be part of this storyline. So, I do like also that DC's doing this big push for the Justice Society as of late. It's very clear that they're trying, I've seen this massive push for the Justice Society as of late. Even more so than when they came back in Doomsday Clock. You know, the Watchmen sequel that no one asked for and Jeff Johns thought he was smart enough to do. I'm just saying. Anyway, so this book actually, unlike the first one, which is kind of like the Alan Scott book, that one is more self-contained, I would say. That one's much more self-contained, whereas this one is more it deals with continuity, a lot of continuity. For starters, you're probably wondering who this young lady is. That is the Boom, aka Judy Garrick, aka Jay Garrick's daughter. What? Jay Garrick had a daughter? He never had a daughter. They can't have kids. Him and Joan can't have kids. Yeah. Also, can I just say I hate families where they have the first letter in all their names? It's confusing. Speaking as someone who in their family has, they're all B names, and they all have, it's so confusing because I can't fucking remember all their names, because this all starts with the letter B, so I fucking call them, all the other B names that the other one is, and I just forget, and they all blend in my head. Stop doing that! It's not fucking clever! I'm cool. Anyway, so you're probably wondering, what in the retcon shit is this? So, this actually takes place with a Stargirl story that I never read. This is actually a sequel to that story in which Stargirl found all these lost children of superheroes, and one of them was Judy. This also takes place with another storyline from, I forgot to mention the writer of this comic is Jeremy Adams. That's going to be important for a second. But Jeremy Adams wrote one of my favorite recent runs of The Flash. And in there, it also talks about, the lost children that Granny Goodness had stolen from superheroes, one of them being Mr. Terrific's son, who calls himself Fairplay. But Jeremy Adams, I do have a interview of him. It's just been, I have an interview with him, Philip Kennedy Johnson, and other writers I had from MegaCon, and if you're still wondering why I haven't posted those, by the way, it's mostly because I'm having difficulty, transitioning them from my phone to YouTube. I'm having, there's some kind of, error that happens. But I am trying to get those out. But yeah, Jeremy Adams is a writer who I really loved his Green Lantern as well, and anytime now I see his name on a title, I'm like, I'm in. So I was really excited to see him write another Flash character again. But getting back on point is that this deals with not only stuff that happened in Adams' run, which makes sense, he wrote the damn book, but also that it deals with a Stargirl book that I never read, so I'm a little confused by it. But yeah. Also, this does bring up a point of something I hate in comics, where we retcon characters back into continuity, characters you never heard. It's one of the reasons why I fucking hate the Sentry. Why I detest the Sentry is because it's literally a character, oh, you never heard of me because I erased myself from history. That's bullshit. Because now you've basically tainted every Marvel comic I ever read, thanks Sentry, where it's oh, it's in the back of my mind, it's oh, the Sentry was supposed to be here, or such and such. Now I think Jeremy also had that same kind of thought process, because Judy is the retcon daughter of Jay and Joan, and she was erased from history by some storyline in again, the Stargirl comic I never read. But I like Judy. I think she's a fun character. I also like that it also plays with the thing of, like, Jay and Joan are, like, very old. They're very old, and they just got their daughter back, who's still, like, 15, 16 years old. And now they're, like, they don't really touch on it in this series. They don't really touch on it a lot in this comic. But I do like the thing of, I do like the whole storyline of, they're older now. They're not going to be... Their daughter just came back to them. And with it, because all their memories were erased with them, so now all of these memories of their daughter are coming back to them. And it's like, they're getting on in years. They can't celebrate their child. They can't... They're going to... Like, they have that thought of, we're not going to be able to celebrate our child's life. We're going to be... Like, the effects of Jay's superpowers have passed on to Joan, his wife, through... I don't have to say it. So she gets to live. She gets to age slower too, but they're not immortal. They're gonna be gone before Judy gets to have a life. And it's little moments like those I like, and also like Jay being the helicopter father, because he's like, I just got a daughter I had and was taken from me, mind and body from me, and so I understand why Jay gets a little like here. It's a lot more like Jay is having the effects of, I just remembered I have a daughter that I forgot, that was taken from my mind, and now I'm afraid of losing her again. So I do like that. I do like Jeremy really plays with the whole thing of, you just lost like this character you've never heard of is now integral to the continuity. We play with the effects of that rather than, you know, or the Sentry or whoever the fuck just shows up and everyone's like, oh yeah, now I suddenly remember you. Oh, it's all good. Here it's like, that's my daughter that I had with my wife, and some goddamn psychopath not only took her from me, but also took my memories of her. And now it's one of God's best jokes that she comes back into my life, and now I'm going to be at the tail end of my life, basically. I can't even enjoy my child's childhood. Like, I may not be able to age and live to see her grow up. So I like that. I like that Jeremy actually, like, plays with that. So the other main story is that we deal with a character that was also, I can't remember if he was like a character that was already in the Jay Garrick continuity or he was invented for this. A villain called Dr. Elemental, who turns out to be a actual character from Jay Garrick's mythology, Professor Hughes, the guy who helped create the Flash, basically retconning that he's been a secret supervillain this whole time. Which I don't think is kind of weird, because again, it retcons all those classic JSA books and Golden Age Flash books, but at the same time, it's not like a major, it is kind of a major character change, but it's not like, they ruined Professor Hughes! I don't see anyone going into the streets talking about that right now, do you? Anyway, so I was fine with the retcon. And again, I think the action is a lot of fun. Jeremy Adams has a lot of... That's the key with Adams' comics, is that he's willing to have, like, fun, goofy, Golden Age ideas and update them for a new generation. You saw that a lot in his Flash run. You saw that in his Green Lantern comics, which I really love the first volume. You see that in Flash Gordon. You see, I think also there's talk there. He's now doing Aquaman now, so there's like fun stuff in there. But like, you get to see the Justice Society fight a cyborg grizzly bear, and Jay fights cyborg sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their freaking heads, and also they have robot hands. It's a lot of fun. So why did Dr. Elemental create those kind of characters? Fuck you. Keep reading. That's the answer. I really like this book. I don't think it's as strong as, because again, it's kind of steeped in a lot of canon. I was kind of hoping for like a self-contained story, but this has a lot of like Adams's reverence for the DC universe. It has a lot of that care for the DC universe, and again, I think he understood that like bringing this character in after decades of continuity with Jay Garrick and the JSA was kind of a big deal, and it was a plot thread that needed to be told. So I like that, and I really do like that. Again, it's a retcon, and it's treated with respect. So I like this. I really did like it. Did I like it more than Alan Scott Green Lantern? I would say I liked the Alan Scott one a little more because it was more of a personal character story. where, and that one did deal with retcons too, but here it's like these are like things you have to like go back and read in other books, and that's kind of the one detriment to it. But I will say I still really love this book. Jay Garrick's always a character I love seeing, so to have a whole story centered around him and dealing with this basically world-altering event in his life, it was really cool. So I would recommend this, actually. Just remember to read the Stargirl miniseries, because that's where this really comes from. This acts as a sequel to that. Anyway, so Chris, thank you once again, brother, for this comic, as well as the others. And yeah, if you read Jay Garrick the Flash, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of it. Comment below, let me know. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.